So today we are going to create a shared file system or EFS. So I have referred this link, and first of all I will create a VPC, and then I will create a EFS. So this is my VPC name, my VPC. This is my IP. This is my CIDR. Okay, and within that VPC I have created three subnets: East 1A, East 1B, and East 1C, all belonging to same VPC, and they have different CIDR range. Okay, 10.0.1.0, 10.0.2.0, and 10.0.3.0. When I create VPC, this public route table automatically get created. Okay, and within that public route table, I have added all three subnets. So in public route table, in the root tab, if you see, I have also created a internet gateway and I have added it. So in this public route table, in route section, I have given access to VPC itself and IGW. While in subnet association tab for this public route table, I have given access to all three subnets. So all three subnets are associated with public route table. So they all have internet access, and these are their CIDR range. After that, in East 1A, I go to edit section. I say enable auto assign. So whenever an instance will be created, there is a specific option of subnet and it comes enabled. So I will show you. Okay. Similarly for East 1B, enabled auto assign public IP. For East 1C, enabled auto assign public IP. So public IP can be auto assigned for that. If you don't specify, then once the VPC setup is over, now we come to EC2 instance setup. So I have started creating EC2 instance. I have specified IP of EC2 instance, even though it can be auto enabled, but I am specifying it as 10.0.1.11. Okay, and this is East 1A subnet, and within East 1A subnet I am creating EC2 instance having specific public IP 10.0.1.11. I have given a bootstrap script where this will be executed and Apache server will be installed in EC2 instance. This is for this is network interface, this is details, this is instance detail 10.0.2.11. So 10.0.1.11 and similarly 10.0.2.11. Different, so I think it is East 1B. East 1B. This was subnet East 1A. Okay. And here also I have given. So you can see here Virginia East 1A, and this is instance East 1B. Okay. So within East 1B subnet I have created second instance. Now I have two instances in place. This is the third instance East 1C 10.0.3.11. See, East 1C. These are the three subnets. these are the three instances: east 1a, east 1b, east 1c. All three instances are running. Okay, and now we will check each instance one by one. East 1a instance have public IP so and so and private IP so and so. So how to extract private IP? Host name hyphen minus hyphen capital I. We can extract private IP. If I do curl ifconfig.me, I can get public IP for that instance. So east 1a instance have this public IP and private IP. East 1b have this public IP and private IP. East 1c have this public IP and private IP. After instances are created, now we will check whatever the script we have given, whether it is working or not. So I will go to instance east 1a and east 1b and east 1c and execute this command to start HTTP service and to check the status of that. And if it is okay, if I write the private IP, public IP slash hello, I should get this response. So this is the response from east 1a, this is the response from east 1b, and this is the response of east 1c. Okay, so all three instances are up and running, and their HTTP service is also up and running, and I am getting the desired response. Now we will set the load balancer. So for setting load balancer, what we will do is we will create a load balance. We will create a target group first. Okay, and within the target group, what I am doing is, this is the target group name. This is the listener port 80. Okay, this is the VPC. Okay, this is just the health check, and this is health check setting. Threshold I set to 2, interval I set to 6, and targets for the target group are this. But and I have created this target group. Since this target group is created and it is not associated with load balancer, you can see load balancer is not associated. So let's create a load balancer first, then associate it with target group. So create load balancer, application load balancer it is, name of load balancer, internet facing, and IPv4 address type. Then this is the VPC I have to specify. Then security group, I will either use one of the security group existing, or I can create my security group having access of SSH, HTTP, HTTPS and ICMP. This is the target group. While load balancer, I have to specify target group, so I am specifying target group as TG for load balancer my VPC1, and it include all the three instances of EC2, East 1A, East 1B, East 1C. This is the summary of that load balancer. Okay, then I say view load balancer. Now target group was specified, so in against the target group I can see the load balancer name is coming. So now it is associated. Okay, now for that load balancer we will get these two tabs, description and listeners. In listener you can specify whether it's 80 or 443, and in description I can get this load balancer URL or DNS name. ARN can say ARN is this one, and DNS name is this. So this URL is a URL of load balancer, and if I hit this URL, I can switch to East 1A, East 1B and East 1C. Okay, it contains forwarding rules, okay, for TG or target group. So when I enter load balancer URL, what I get is a test page. But if I write slash hello, I can get east 1c. Again I refresh, then I get east 1a. Again I refresh, I get east 1b. So it is switching or shuffling between east 1a, east 1b and east 1c. So load balancer setup is done. Now the main thing comes is, on each EC2 instance you have to install nfs-utils on each instance, whether it is east 1a or east 1b or east 1c. Then we see the DNS resolution for VPC, and so after DNS, after clicking on DNS resolution tab, okay, for my VPC, I have to enable DNS resolution setting. Similarly, go to DNS hostname and enable it also. Then default security group. So if you want to change security group, you can go here and change security group. Okay, and default security group is mandatory to be included. Okay, for each EC2 instance. Okay, RDP is required and security group as default is required. Your security group will also work, but you have to include default security group also and RDP also. So I have included default security group. Okay, and within your security group you should have access to listen to port uh, for SSH, for HTTP, for HTTPS, for ICMP and for RDP. So and then default security group in load balancer I have included. Okay, now come to EFS setup part. So in this EFS setup part, go to EFS, create a EFS file system, and this is the EFS file system created. Okay, now there is an option attach. If you click on attach, it says that whichever system, whichever EC2 you want, you can specify. So whichever system, whichever EC2 virtual machine you want, go to that machine, execute this command. Okay, execute this command, and it will mount the file system for you. So this is the mount command. This is the mount command, and you have to specify specific path instead of this EFS world. So this is how we are going to do it. I just took out that command. Okay, and now I'm going there are second option also, mount via IP. There is also another way of specifying. Okay, so mount point can be specified using IP, and mount point can be specified using DNS name, like this. This is the DNS name. So we'll go to now EC2 and execute that mount command. So go to EC2, replace EFS by my directory where my web page is stored. Okay, so this is the hello directory which I have created inside var www.html. So I will go to that directory and execute that command. What I did, this is the command, original command. After replace, this is the this is the command, mount command. Copy paste above command in EC2 of east 1a and east 1b. Even though you can do it in verse east 1c, but we will not do it right now. We will experiment with east 1a and east 1b first. So copy and paste this command in east 1a and east 1b. I have copied it and pasted it. East 1a and east 1b. What happened? That if you go to this directory now, okay, you will see it doesn't contain anything. I created one file there. See? So can see here whatever content of hello, actually it was containing some index.html file, but now that file is not visible because some other file system is mounted on this folder. Now I have created one more file, index11, so only one file is visible, index11. Index1 or index.html file is not visible. That file is gone, or not gone, actually that file is also there, but we are not able to see this because this become mount point for us, and whatever file system content, it shows only that part. It do not show what was the earlier content, but I will show. After removing this file system, I can see the original content. But unless and until this file system exists, I cannot see the earlier content. What I can see is whatever I have created here. So index11 HTML file is created. Hist1b, if you see, the same file is visible here, even though I have not created it. Okay, the file which I have created was in hist1a. So in hist1a I have created a file, but if I go to hist1b, same folder which was mount point, I can see the same file here. So ultimately there is some kind of shared directory which I can view from hist1a and I can view from hist1b. Okay, so same file content is visible. So this is the activity. Hist1a, the directory content is deleted by this above command, or 1b deleted by above command. Both directories are now pointing to a shared directory which contain index11. Actually deleted word should not be there because the content is still there, but it is not visible to you because some other file system is mounted on the same folder. But both directories of hist1a and hist1b EC2s are pointing to same shared directory. Okay, and since mount command was not executed on hist1c, I can see the original content in hist1c. So hist1c is still untouched. Hist1a and 1b contain mounted file system, but hist1c contain original file and folder. It is not mounted. That hello directory is not mounted by the mount command. Now if I suppose I go to hist1b, I rename this index11 like this. I have renamed this index11 to mv using mv command. I have renamed this index11 to index.html. Okay, you can see this index11. And if you cross check from hist1a again, same change will be reflected in hist1a, even though you have not done any renaming here. But since this file system is shared by both of them, you see the change done here is visible here. Okay, in suppose 1a and 1b contain the shared directory, hello directory, and hence in load balancer you can see the same content of 1a and 1b. So if I go to load balancer URL, I can see hist1a, hist1b, and sometime it moves to hist1c. So this was the original thing. Actually here I have in both sides, since they have shared directory, so the content is also shared. It should be 1b, but same file is shared by both of them. That's why you are seeing the same content here. Okay, but this C is unique. Then if I delete this EFS, if I delete the EFS, if I delete the EFS, it halt for some time. Then you have to restart it, stop and restart everything, and then you will see that in hist1a original file is restored. Original content is now visible. Original content is not visible in 1a, 1b, 1c. And to check, if I'll go to other load balancer, again load balancer, and check again I am getting east 1b, east 1c, east 1a. So that means EFS is a temporary mounting, and if you delete that EFS, again your content will get restored. Thank you.